Did you know that you can buy a house in Spain? Do you have to be a resident or a citizen to buy a house in Spain? Nope. Just about anyone can buy a house in Spain, and today I'm going to explain that process. Hi, my name is Nicole. Welcome to my channel, Travel to Money. In 2018, I set off on a trip to Valencia, Spain to purchase my first home in Pego, Spain for 20,000 euro. I didn't know much about the process, but I had Googled it, and every blog I read mentioned the exact same steps, so I felt pretty confident that the process was somewhat straightforward. Since then, I've purchased two more houses in Spain, one for 5,000 euro and one for 9,000 euro. Sold the first one and am currently renovating my most recent purchase. After going through the process a few times and helping many other people to do the same, I'm happy to share that as long as you have a passport and the money, in general, you should be able to pretty simply buy a house in Spain. Now, just a quick disclaimer that I'm not an agent, an attorney, or a tax advisor. I'm just someone sharing my experience in hopes to make yours a little bit easier. It can feel intimidating for sure, so I'm happy to be that guide along the way to give you the confidence that it's possible for you too. If you're at the point that you're seriously considering a purchase in Spain, I also offer one-on-one coaching about the process that includes attorney and agent referrals, so you can check that out at traveltomoney.com/coaching if that ever becomes something I can help you with on a more personal level. Okay, so let's start by covering a few basics. Just like I said before, you do not have to be a resident or a citizen of Spain to purchase a home, but you should also know that purchasing a home does not automatically make you a resident or a citizen. There is a golden visa option where you obtain residency after spending about $500,000 on real estate in Spain, and if that's you, cool. But for the rest of us on a budget, keep in mind that without residency, you can only visit your home for 90 days at a time for a total of about 6 months per year if you visited twice. I should also mention that during the pandemic, I wasn't allowed to visit my home for over a year and a half since I wasn't a resident, which is hopefully not something you'd have to worry about often, but do keep that in mind. Now, I'm not going to talk about residency options in this video, but if you're curious about that, be sure to check out my recent video with Johnny from Millennials with Money, where we discuss the most popular residency options in Spain. Okay, so what exactly do you need to buy a house in Spain? The truth is that you don't even need a real estate agent, although it's fine to use one if you want. The main thing you need is a real estate attorney, which is commonly referred to as a solicitor in Spain. When you think of a solicitor in the US, you think of someone coming and knocking on your door to sell you something, so a very different use of the term here. Now, the next steps are all things my real estate attorney took care of for me in the process of purchasing my first home. You can download my free attorney guide that will list out the steps I'm about to cover and the cost, so that when you are looking into the best attorney for you, you can make sure that they will offer the same services at a similar price. Just visit traveltomoney.com/legal to get that guide. I'll also leave a link in the description below. Some of these things you could try to do on your own, but in my experience, it's so much easier to just have the attorney do everything for you. And when you think attorney, you're probably thinking, that's a lot of money, but don't worry, the cost isn't anything crazy. I'll go over what I paid him after we finish going through the steps. So number one, the attorney will get your NIE, which is your tax identification number in Spain, and is similar to what we call a social security number in the US. This is something you'll need to present not just for buying a house, but if you ever buy a car, or even something as simple as signing up for a rewards account at the hardware store. My attorney also helped me to set up my bank account. He went to the bank with me, and he even set up all my utilities to be automatically paid from my bank account. I didn't have to do any of that myself. Another thing an attorney will do for you is research on the property you are intending to purchase. They will make sure there aren't any outstanding debts, taxes, or anything else that could be a liability for you, including making sure that there aren't any current tenants. They will meet with the municipal architect at the town hall and ensure the sale is legal, as well as confirming that the description of the house and the square meters are accurate. The next thing they will do for you is provide the energy certificate for the house. Lastly, my attorney set up the date for the signing at the notary. Now, a couple of notes about this. First, for the most part, my attorney and I began initially communicating via email, where I provided items like photos of my passport. From there, I went to Spain and only saw the attorney 2 or 3 times. The time we went to the bank, there was probably an initial time I met with him to sign paperwork, and the time we went to the notary. Other than that, I just enjoyed being in Spain, and he did all of the work, sending me most of the documents via email. The total cost of attorney fees on my first home purchase came to 1,200 euro. Well worth it if you ask me. Every home purchase after that has been less because some things like my NIE and bank account are already in place. Second, you have the option to give your attorney power of attorney, which is something that has been great for me. Now, I don't even have to be in Spain to buy or sell a house. He can do everything with my permission on my behalf. Power of attorney doesn't give an attorney license over everything. It has to be given specifically. For example, for a while, my attorney had power of attorney to buy homes on my behalf, but he didn't have the right to sell homes on my behalf. So when it came time to sell my house and I wasn't in Spain, he had to send me paperwork to give him power of attorney to sell, which I then had to get notarized, and I had to get an apostille from the Secretary of State in Florida and have that shipped back to him. That whole thing cost me a little over $200 for notary fees and shipping. Considering I'm not in Spain all the time, giving power of attorney has saved me so much time and hassle. If I get some bill that I can't figure out how to pay, I can just reach out to my attorney and he handles things for me. It's great. The third and last thing I want to note while we're talking about attorneys is that before you just assume that an attorney is going to do all these things for you, I would verify the cost and go over the list of things I mentioned to make sure what they offer is similar. So make sure you get that guide I mentioned before and check off all of those items. I don't give out my attorney referral publicly because way too many people have asked, but I do provide attorney referrals for anyone who does a coaching session with me, and this isn't just for my attorney, but my team works to verify real estate attorney services for every region in Spain who are recommended by other expats. Okay, now that we've talked about everything an attorney does for you, let's talk about inspections. If you are buying a house in cash, you are not required to get an inspection. But as you can imagine, an inspection is likely worth paying for to make sure you're not getting into a mess. From what I understand, there are two types of inspections. You have your general inspection, and then there is also a structural inspection that is available. Structural problems could be some of your biggest, so I'd always recommend getting a structural inspection. Now, the only other thing you'll need to do is pay for the house, which the attorney will handle for you, but you might be wondering how you would get money into your Spanish bank account. Well, when I bought my first house, I sent the money by wire, and boy did it cost me a lot of money. Since then, I started using an app where I can literally transfer the money via the app. The currency exchange fees are low, and it's in my bank account in seconds. I can also use this app to send money to other people or businesses in Spain when needed. Now, I no longer do free advertising for companies, but I do have an affiliate link for this app in the description of this video, so be sure to check that out. And just for your peace of mind, I used this company for 5 years before ever becoming an affiliate, so I really do love it. Also, this isn't just for transferring money to Spain. This works for most major countries and currencies. One other question folks might have about buying a house in Spain is trying to figure out if you can get a mortgage. Now, you can get a mortgage in Spain, but the process is a little bit different from that in the US. First of all, you would need to be prepared to put around 40% of the purchase price down on the house. In the US, you would usually get a loan pre-approval and then go shop for houses. But in Spain, you find the house and then you shop for loans based on that specific house. Just like anything else where banks are involved, there will be more paperwork involved and the bank will want to have inspections done. I've never been through this process before, and I do recommend paying in cash if you can, but hey, getting a loan is possible. Just like any other loan, they will want to see proof of income, and I really don't know what the income requirements are for different size loans. So it was early February 2018 when I identified the first house I wanted to buy and put a down payment of 2,000 euros on it. Less than a month later, I flew to Spain to get the process started, and about 30 days after arriving, we closed on the house. Now, if you don't have 30 days to hang out in Spain, remember you can use that power of attorney option and they could technically close for you after you leave. But who wouldn't want to just hang out in Spain? Well, I sure do hope this has been helpful for you. If you are considering buying a home in Spain, leave a comment and let me know where you're at in the process. Do me a huge favor, like this video and subscribe to join me every day, where travel and adventure build financial freedom. I can't wait to see where your dreams will take you.